Alright. We're here now. I don't know what happened there. You know, Discord's just being very, very weird for some reason.
Yeah, we're gonna have to start looking into other things eventually.
Yeah.
Well, we tried Skype that one time, and that didn't do it either. It's probably I'm gonna have to start building a bigger, stronger, and faster computer.
Cue the Death Punk music.
That too. Oh god. I mean, I need to upgrade anyway. It's been like 9 years since my last upgrade.
Damn. My name is Iris. I am but a simple nun undergoing training at Hazakura Temple.
Witness, is there something that you want to confess to?
Yes. But first, I want to apologize to Mr. Wright. I can't continue lying to everyone anymore.
It's alright. What is it?
Mr. Wright, I have to admit that I did play a part in this terrible incident.
Are you actually confessing? Are you saying that you were the one who murdered Miss Elise Dunham?
No, I'm not, Your Honor. But I did deal with the cover-up after the murder took place. After her spirit left, I took the lifeless shell of Mystic Elise and carried it to the Hazakura Temple courtyard where I desecrated it.
What? Oh, order in this court! Order! Witness, are you saying you were an accomplice to the murder?
Yes, that's correct.
What? 3 minutes in court and I've already covered in a cold sweat. Everyone on the planet is an accomplice to something. It just happens to be that in this case it's to murder. Isn't that right, Mr. Trite? That Godo. So this is the confession they were conferring about. It pains me to say this, but it looks like Iris's testimony was all a lie. Well, I'm just gonna put this in my pocket, all crumpled up. Now then, little lady, if you don't mind, I've got a question for you. Whose crime were you trying to cover up by your actions? Iris was covering for someone? Ugh, now I'm definitely up the creek without a paddle or a life jacket.
I've been at Hazakura Temple ever since I was a little girl. Hazakura Temple is run by one of the branch families of the Korean tradition. One of our missions is to protect the main family.
I'm sorry, but main family?
Yes, and that's why I would dirty myself, if need be, to protect her. The daughter of the master of the Korean channeling technique, Mystic Maya Fey.
Huh? Wake up and smell the coffee, Trite. She's naming Maya?
Order in the court! So, not only did you witness the murder, you know where the name of the murderer?
I'm terribly sorry, but it's true. I saw her commit the crime with my very own eyes. And I did clean up after the area to try to protect her.
That's ridiculous. Maya could never do such a...
The defense will refrain from commenting until the appropriate time. Now, witness, let's hear your testimony. What exactly happened on the night of the crime?
Yes, Your Honor.
I thought I was prepared for the unexpected, but I never imagined the case would wind up going in this direction.
I went to the inner temple that night and saw it all happen in the garden. I saw Mystic Elise strike down Mystic Maya with her staff. While Mystic Maya was self-summoning, Mystic Elise moved in and delivered a fatal strike. Mystic Maya tried desperately to defend herself and stole the weapon. It was only in self-defense. You can't blame her for it.
So it was in self-defense.
Yes, Mystic Elise was the one who attacked first. That's why I tried my best to protect Mystic Maya.
You moved the victim's body to the temple so that Maya wouldn't be suspected. Isn't that right? Not bad. You've got the instincts of a true criminal. Something's not quite right. I'm sure it was established yesterday that Iris never went to the inner temple that night, and that the person who did go was that woman. Iris even admitted it.
Now then, Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination.
Sister Iris, your testimony has changed quite a bit since yesterday. You stated yesterday that on the night of the murder, you didn't go to the inner temple. Did she now? Too bad for you. What she said yesterday doesn't mean much today. By the way, where were you when she claimed that she didn't go? I was in the Inner Temple's training hall. A private conversation between the two of you does not constitute testimony. That would be properly described as hearsay.
What do you have to say, witness?
I just couldn't tell him the truth at the time. Mystic Maya. She's your girlfriend, isn't she? I didn't want to be the one to break it to you that I saw her commit murder.
There. We all understand how difficult this is for you. Now then, let's continue with this testimony. What did the witness in the did you witness in the temple garden?
Well, Your Honor.
Oh.
Oops.
You're saying that the victim attacked Maya? I mean Miss Faye?
Yes. It was a truly frightening scene. Mystic Maya was struck hard on the head and looked like she was going to collapse.
What were you doing at the time? Why didn't you stop them from fighting?
I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Wright. I was frightened. I couldn't move. I couldn't even speak. I was in such shock.
That's perfectly understandable, my dear.
This doesn't sound right. I don't believe this testimony for a minute.
What happened after that?
She moved in to deliver a fatal strike?
Yes, I'm sure of it. She threw down her staff and reached for her robe as a weapon.
Wait a minute. What was this weapon?
It was some kind of dagger.
A dagger, huh? And Elise Stoneham tried to stab her with this weapon? To kill Miss Faye?
Yes, exactly.
Huh. You look like I did after I mistakenly took a swig of Worcestershire sauce. Do you have a problem with the testimony we're hearing from your client, lawyer boy?
Ooh.
Do I have a problem with Iris's testimony? Your Honor, I have a small problem with the witness's testimony.
You do. But this witness is your own client.
Yes, well, nevertheless, that's fine. Witness, let's add your last statement to the testimony.
Yes, sir.
Hey, just a moment. That's my job to say that.
Listen, Gramps, I won't say it again. How many times do I have to keep teaching you this lesson, old man? Final judgment will be rendered by me.
Damn! Like he's playing God now. What the fuck?
Oh, well, I am. Okay, now, let's continue. She threw her staff away?
Mystic Elise was trying to kill Mystic Maya. I think that's why she wanted a more lethal weapon.
It's true. It's not easy to inflict a deadly blow with a staff.
Sister Iris, let me make sure I've got this straight. The victim herself chose to throw away her staff?
Yes, that's what I saw.
Is there anything odd about that, Mr. Wright?
Yeah, it's odd, alright.
Mystic Elise attacked Mystic Maya with a dagger, I'm sure of this.
And then?
Mystic Maya turned things around and then... she used the weapon she had taken and lunged forward for a strike.
Witness, are you absolutely certain?
Yes. Believe me, she had no choice. If Mystic Maya hadn't done something...
Maya Faye's name would have been written on this autopsy report instead.
I see.
This is bad. I still can't put the pieces together. Unless I find a contradiction in her testimony, Maya's gonna get blamed for this.
I only have this to say.
So you're saying Maya Faye was the one who stabbed Miss Elise Stoneham. Sister Iris, is that really what you saw?
Yes.
Objection!
Trite. If your mug is filled with black and bitter suspicions, the only way to get rid of them is to drink them down quick. Like this. I know that's supposed to be a metaphor, but I don't get it. There's only one thing you need to get, Trite. It's called evidence. Now hurry up, before my next cup gets cold. What does that mean? Is Godo waiting for me to point out the contradictions? I'd like to avoid the whole spirit channeling thing if I can. Not only would it be inadmissible as evidence, but I think it might actually hurt our standing with the judge. First, I need to pick her testimony apart and expose the unnatural sounding parts. I don't know why Iris would tell a story like this, but there are two things I noticed that just don't add up. Sister Iris, there's something strange about your version of events.
Huh?
Miss Stoneham throwing her staff away makes no sense at all to me.
But all you could do is hit a staff. The staff has hit someone. Have you ever played those RPGs?
Naturally, you would know this, Sister Iris, but the victim's staff had a special feature about it. As you can see, it's a sword. If Elise Stoneham really had wanted to kill Maya Faye, she wouldn't have needed to use a separate dagger. Not when she already had a beautiful blade in her hands already. Well, Sister Iris, what do you have to say?
Alright.
That was an impressive bit of investigating, Trite. I never would have thought there was a sword hidden in that staff. But even so, how should I put this? A long sword is unwieldy, and thus quite ineffective in close quarters combat. Maybe that's why she chose a dagger over her blade. Well... Anyway, the type of weapon she chose to use isn't what's important. The important thing is that she tried to kill Maya Fey. As long as there's nothing strange about that, there's no problem with her testimony. But there is something strange about this whole testimony.
Well, Mr. Wright, the prosecution has a point.
Very well, Your Honor. The defense will now present evidence to back its argument.
Mr. Wright.
I have here another piece of evidence that shows that this testimony can't be trusted. Because Miss Elise Donan would never attempt to take the life of Maya Fey. Elise Donan would never have attacked Maya Fey.
How can you be so sure?
Because the victim's real name was not Elise Donan. Her real name was Misty Fey.
No! Not Misty Fey!
Who is this Misty Fey? Is she related to...
Misty Fey is the master of the Korean channeling technique. She is also the mother of Maya Fey.
Is that really true? Mr. Wright? Was Elise Donan actually the great mystic Misty?
There's no doubt about it. It looks like Iris had no idea.
I can hardly believe it.
The idea that she would try to kill her only daughter, one that she hadn't seen in 17 years? Perhaps the prosecution can offer some explanation for why she would do such a thing. Ugh.
Order! Order in the court! Upon first hearing the witness testimony, it seems natural, though. However, in the light of some facts that has been presented, is the sound music messing up on anybody else's end?
A little
Yeah,
bit.
just keep going.
1. The victim supposedly threw away a sword during a fight. And 2. That the two people battling to the death were mother and daughter. Despite the facts being believable when taken on their own, were taken together to entire story seems difficult to me.
Listen, there's nothing in this world that is impossible. Except for one little thing.
Yes? What is the little impossible thing?
Huh. You
Coffee.
still don't get it. You think maybe my beans are under-roasted, but you have no idea, Gramps. Could you get to your point? I heard this witness's confession this morning, just as I had taken the first sip of my 8 cup of morning coffee.
You're going to ruin your health, my friend.
Anyway, after hearing this woman's confession, I had a detective who loves to investigate sent to the scene of the crime. And
Oh,
he discovered this little beauty.
no. Is that the dagger the witness testifies seeing?
Obviously, Your Honor, but do you not notice something else?
Now that you mention it, if you look closely, there appears to be blood on it.
Where did you find that? I didn't see that when I investigated the crime scene. Did you investigate the pine tree at the crime scene? Huh? The pine tree? This dagger was stuck in the backside of the pine tree. When the last blow was struck, ending the violent battle between the two women, this little baby was thrown in the direction of the back of the pine tree.
Which means the blood on the dagger was to the victim, correct?
Huh. Were you even listening, old man? I first heard this confession this morning, just as I had taken the first sip of my 13th cup of morning coffee. Didn't you say it was your 8th just a few minutes ago? I didn't have enough time to get the blood analyzed on such short notice.
Any case, the court will accept the dagger as evidence. Furthermore, I ordered a blood test to be performed on it immediately.
This is my sweetheart. Make sure you treat her right.
Oh god, is he into knife play?
Bailiff, get this piece of evidence to the crime lab for testing immediately.
Thinking more of like those weird animes where it's like, oh, my wife turned into a sword.
Are you talking about Soul Eater?
Sort of, but there's also other ones that do that too. Or no, there's a game where it's like, oh, hey, my wife turned into a weapon. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, I just got Soul Eater vibes when you said that, and it seems like this guy is some really freaky shit.
I mean, he drinks coffee like it's water.
True. Now
It's-
then.
It's the
He's like a
the
Fabio
elixir.
from Part 5.
A elixir. Nectar of the gods.
Ain't that wine, though?
No, it's coffee.
The testimony we just heard had numerous unbelievable aspects to it. However, having found a dagger the witness spoke of, I believe we can consider her testimony to be credible.
Cute girls never lie. Ever.
In any case, go ahead, say it.
Oh, that's what we want you to think.
In any case, the witness, if you please testify again to this court.
This ain't me, girls. About...
Oh, what, Your Honor?
About the incident you saw, the battle between the two women.
Yes, Your Honor.
Obligatory. Get in, losers. We're going investigating.
God damn it! God damn it, Bill! Mr. Kamaya stumbled briefly after being hit over the head with the staff. Then she dodged Mr. Elise's next attack and stole her weapon. Suddenly, Mr. Elise was the one on the defensive, and with her back to the stone lantern, that's when Mr. Kamaya stabbed Mr. Elise. Mr. Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed.
That's a very heartbreaking story.
I don't know if there are any bad feelings between them, but it had been 17 years since Mystic
Misty's disappearance.
Perhaps they simply don't recognize each other anymore.
That seems reasonable. Now then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination.
Iris, where were you standing when you witnessed all this?
What do you mean?
Well, if either of them have noticed you, they might not have continued their battle.
I wonder if that's true. The two of them They were standing near the garden stone lantern. I was watching the whole thing from behind. It was dark where the two of them were, so I think that's why they didn't see me.
So it was dark in the garden when the murder took place. This goddamn music is giving me creepy Papa's vibes.
Welcome to Halloween month, everybody.
This is like what .exe movie do you think this is making you feel like?
I don't know, but it's giving me creepy pasta.
This is very creepy pasta, bro.
Tell me, what did Miss Maya Fey do after she was struck?
If there was a true crime Phoenix Wright edition, this would be the music playing. What happened to the victim's staff then?
I'm not sure. The area was very dark, so I couldn't really see. I think it got knocked away somewhere as the fight escalated.
That makes sense. That would explain the need for the dagger.
Mr. Elise raised the dagger to strike. But Mystic Maya dodged it at the last second. The dagger struck the lantern and fell to the ground. And then, at some point, Mystic Maya picked it up.
Nothing sounds especially strange yet.
What did the victim do when the weapon was stolen from her?
You're saying that Maya Fey turned the tables on the victim?
Yes. But Mystic Maya wasn't herself at the time. After all, her life was in danger.
I still can't believe it. The idea of Maya cornering someone at knife point, it's just silly. As they say, a cornered fox is more dangerous than a jackal. I believe the correct description of a cornered fox is scared and petrified. Your animal analogies have grown tiresome. You were the one who started it!
Anyways. So after Maya Fey bet the victim into the stone lantern, what happened next?
Are you absolutely certain that's what you saw?
Yes, I am almost certain.
Almost?
The garden was dark. I couldn't really tell who was who.
What did she just say? So in other words, it could have been someone else entirely. Objection. We know that Maya Fey was at the Inner Temple that night, and that the woman that was killed was Elise Stoneham. Isn't it fairly obvious who attacked who? Ugh, I don't have anything to counter that yet.
Well, then, witness, please continue with their testimony. Goddamn this music.
Yes, Your Honor. The two of them faced each other at the wall for a moment. Then Mystic Maya rushed in straight into Mystic Elise. Then Mystic Elise stumbled over and fell to the ground.
She was stabbed in the stomach, huh?
Yes.
Where did that dagger go?
I have no idea. It was dark and I couldn't see.
According to the detective who found the dagger, It was stuck into the pine tree in the garden. Most likely it was flung towards the tree after the struggle.
That is the most likely explanation, yes.
After being stabbed in the stomach, did the victim collapse right away?
Now that I think of it, she seemed to stare at Mystic Maya for a while. And Mystic Maya stood there, not moving an inch. It felt for a moment like time had just stopped. Did Dio bring the world onto us?
Yes, Your Honor. Ponder. Are stands real?
But then, suddenly, as if the spell had worn off, Mystic Maya, a Mystic Elise fell over. Excuse me, I'm not in my right mind today.
It seems like a reasonable story at first. But there's one thing that is completely impossible. Two-Tone Dearly says, "So Worldle!" The very idea of Maya stabbing someone, that alone is impossible. Which means this faulty testimony must contain another contradiction in it somewhere. Something about you just isn't right today, Iris.
Huh?
Until now, I didn't think you were the type to make such a careless mistake. However, the testimony you just gave contains quite a few contradictions.
What do you mean? What's so wrong about my testimony?
According to you, Maya Fey stabbed the victim while she had her back to the stone lantern, correct?
Yes, that's right.
But in that case, the victim would have been stabbed in the stomach, right?
Yes, I think so.
But according to the autopsy report, the cause of death was due to blood loss from a stab wound in her back.
Huh?
This proves that the victim was stabbed from behind, not from the front. Sister Iris, it appears another seed of doubt has sprouted from your testimony.
What? What is the meaning of this, Mr. Wright?
Huh. It's simple. People are like books. We all got a front and a back. You get my drift?
Is that all you have to say?
I can also say that darkness loves to play with the human mind. Could you please knock it off with the cheesy proverbs and illogical metaphors already? The point is, too much of this testimony just doesn't make sense. Throwing away a useful staff, the people fighting being mother and daughter, and now she falsely claims the victim was stabbed in the stomach?
There is certainly some inconsistency.
Well, Iris, how about it?
Well, just...
If you ask me, you're just being too naive about the whole thing. What do you mean? There are 253 distinct types of bitterness in coffee, but to pick out each one requires total concentration and the use of all the senses. Were you really concentrating on what this witness actually said?
Prosecutor Goldar, please explain yourself.
The witness was quite ambiguous about her own ambiguities when she said that the garden was dark and she couldn't see clearly. A human needs one thing to see clearly, and that is light.
Light.
By the way, did you know? Hazakura has a rule that on nights when an acolyte is at the inner temple training, the stone lantern in the garden must be kept lit. I did wonder what that stone lantern was there for.
Well, if that's true, shouldn't the witness have been able to see the crime more clearly?
Normally, yes, Your Honor. But according to the head nun, Sister Bikini, on the night of the crime, it was impossible to light that stone lantern. Impossible?
Hi, how you doing, Godot baby?
I'm already taken. It hadn't been used in a long time, and the wick was no good. In other words, it had to have been nearly pitch black in the garden that night. There could have been a faint light coming from the training hall, but that's all.
Oh, it's enlightening.
Yes, that illuminating fact has chased all of the contradictions away. If the staff was dropped, it would be difficult to see. It also explains why they didn't recognize each other. We can't see the demons that lurk in the night. That's why humans are weak. Isn't that right, Trite? No!
Order!
Here, Your Honor. Let me present this stone lantern into evidence. Maybe it will rekindle the flame of truth in your mind.
Yeah, he must have that very heavy.
Oh,
very heavy.
I've got the muscles to do it. I bench press with this lantern. That's why Mia dated me.
Check, please.
I used to take stone lanterns from the courtyard, and then I would go into the gym, and then I would replace the barbell with the stone lanterns.
Wright is not impressed.
And then have Mia sit on the stone lantern while I bench pressed.
Doesn't it feel so? Isn't that sacrilege to, since it's like a sacred thing at the shrine?
No, I'm not talking about the stone lantern at the shrine. I'm talking about the stone lanterns that were around the courtroom back in those days. Why is the judge just sitting there with that look on his face? What's wrong, Your Honor? Was that flame too hot?
This lantern. There's something written on it. Why? It's written in blood.
Oh boy. So the judge didn't know about that yet. Written in blood.
Surprise, bitch.
It says Maya upside down.
What the?
Oh, yes, that's right. After being cornered by and then stabbed by Mystic Maya, Mystic Elise didn't fall down right away. She must have been writing that on the stone lantern behind her. And with the blood that's draining out of her body.
Two-Tone Dairly's like, did Red White put that there? I don't know. Red White's already been in jail for like 2 years now. He's probably already been death penalized. Because Japan always kills murderers.
This is basically Sayaka Maizono right here, too.
It certainly looks that way.
Hang on. Hang on just a minute. What are you all talking about?
What do you mean? What are we talking about?
We're talking about the message written in blood. Nonsense. This lantern, it's as clean as a whistle.
Bullshit.
Could it be? He can't see the bloody writing at all? Now that I think of it, he did say something to me yesterday. My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. So that's what he meant by that.
In any case, this is obviously an important clue. We now know that the crime scene was dark. And the victim scrawled the message on the stone lantern. Well, Mr. Godot, anything further? Get him some coffee. Mr. Godot!
Okay then, let's move on. Godo's really shaking, and somehow I don't think it's from caffeine overdose.
Guys, he's turning into the Hulk. I believe it has now been established that Miss Dunham was killed by Maya Fey.
That's just wrong. Now it's time to turn our attention to you.
Yes.
After the victim died, you did something, didn't you? Let's hear it. We're all ears.
After Mystic Elise died, I called out to Mystic Maya. I thought it was my duty to protect the future master of the Korean tradition. So I removed the body from the inner temple by myself. I dragged it behind me all the way across Dusky Bridge. Then I used the snowmobile to carry it back to the Hazakura Temple and... I used the Shishito to alter the way the ruse looked.
So you moved the body.
Yes.
I was raised at Hazakura Temple. I owe a great deal of thanks to the Maya, to the Fae clan. But even so, I never imagined that at least Donald was actually Misty Fae. I've committed a terrible sin.
A terrible trick of faith.
I believe you're looking for a twist of fate, Your Honor. Although that move is done by a tag team that started a cult, but not really. They just are very cult-ish. Anyway.
I intended to return to the inner temple after taking care of the body. But...
You were spotted by the head nun, correct?
Hey, go
and
that
that's why
baby.
I couldn't go back.
Your story makes sense, I suppose. Mr. Wright, go ahead with your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor. So you waited until everything was over before making a move?
No, it's not like that.
She saw someone murdered right in front of her eyes. It's not surprising that she was a little timid.
Yes, I suppose that's true. Sometimes when I'm watching lawyers argue back and forth with each other, I feel so helpless that I just sit quietly and wait for them to reach a conclusion.
Isn't it your job as the judge to mediate the argument?
It wasn't until Mystic Maya saw me that it finally dawned on her what she had done.
So then, you knew? You knew the significance of the name Maya Fey?
Yes, of course I did.
That's odd. I mean, Sister Bikini didn't recognize Maya's name, let alone her position.
Anyway, she was a very special person indeed.
Why did you do that?
Because I didn't want Mystic Maya to be suspected in any way. I thought the best thing would be to remove the body from the crime scene.
You moved her body all by yourself.
Yes, I did. It would have been impossible if it weren't for the snow.
The snow, huh? It's pretty amazing you can make it all the way across. That's a rickety old bridge.
It looks worse than it is. It's surprisingly sturdy despite its age.
It's like they say, idiots are too stupid to catch even a simple cold. But there's one other thing that bothers me. Why not just throw the body into the Eagle River? It would have been much easier than dragging it all the way to Hazakura Temple.
I thought that it just has too much suspicion on Mystic Maya. That's why I tried to take the body as far away as possible.
Huh. Makes perfect sense to me. For the time being. Anyway, what did you do after you crossed the bridge? The snowmobile? I knew that would show up sooner or later.
Yes, I had the key. I used the snowmobile to travel from Hazakura Temple to Dusky Bridge.
This is the part that was in question the other day. Should I ask for more details? If you really did move her body by snowmobile, then there should be tracks left in the snow, right?
Well, yes, naturally you would expect tracks.
This picture was presented at yesterday's trial. Are these the tracks from that ride?
Yes. I think they are.
But I can only see one set of tracks here.
I don't see what's so strange about that. Snow was still falling when I left Hazakura Temple.
I see. Was snow still falling, huh?
And then when the murder took place, it had already stopped. That's why there are such fresh-looking tracks.
How about it, Mr. Wright? What do you think about this testimony?
When the murder took place, the snow had already stopped? That doesn't make sense if you stack it up against the other evidence. Your Honor, I'd like this statement Iris just made added to the testimony.
But that doesn't have to do something with the case.
All will be made clear if you allow her statement to be added to the record. Huh. This should be fun. Let's get this snow business cleared up, shall we?
Oh, God damn it. Yes.
There have been a lot of contradictions in your testimony so far. This time, are you sure it's all true?
Yes, I am.
When the murder happened, the snow had already stopped. According to you, that's why the snowmobile tracks were so clear.
That's right. I'm certain of it.
I think I've trapped her this time. I see how you think. Snow, huh?
What is going on here?
If the snow really had stopped by the time of the murder, it'd mean there'd be a bigger hole in her story than that movie The Grid, Revelations.
What?
Huh. Well then, Mr. Trite, perhaps you'd like to share your theory with us. Let's see what's up your sleeve. Or rather, at the end of your index finger. I don't want to believe it, but I don't think my logic is failing me. Iris is trying to pin the murder on Maya. But why would she want to do that? There's only one reason I can think of. I put it on the wrong one, sorry.
Damn it. Damn.
You claim that the snow had already stopped when the murder occurred. But I'm sorry, Iris, that just isn't possible.
What?
This is the weather data from the night of the murder. According to this, the snow didn't stop until 10:50 p.m. But you couldn't have crossed Dusky Bridge at that time.
Why do you say that?
Because 5 minutes before the snow stopped, Dusky Bridge was struck by lightning and it caught on fire.
What did you say? The bridge? It was on fire?
You don't mean to say you didn't know about it. It was because of that lightning strike that the bridge burnt down.
What? It can't be!
It looks like you still haven't figured it out. No matter how hard you try to deceive or conceal the truth, you can't pull the wool over the eyes of a real defense attorney.
Order! Order! Order!
The bridge was already on fire when the incident took place. That's right. The inner temple was already totally cut off from the outside world. There's no way you could have crossed the bridge, body or no body.
Witness, even my patient has its limits. Any further lying, I will find you in contempt of court. Do you have anything to say for yourself?
The only person here that is truly contemptible is you. Old man.
What?
Oh. What?
Me? How dare you?
Whether this witness lied or not doesn't mean shit right now. Shit? The important thing now is to find out the truth. Isn't that right?
Yes, of course, but...
Whether it was snowing or not snowing, or whether the bridge was burning or not, there are two facts that can't be disputed. First, the body of Elise Donham was discovered in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. And second, the head nun, Sister Bikini, witnessed Iris desecrating Elise Donham's body. He makes a good point. On both accounts.
That's right. I'm not lying.
What are you claiming this time?
I wasn't myself at all that night. So my memory is still somewhat hazy.
You have stood at that witness stand and testified this entire time. Are you telling us now that your memory of that night is hazy? It is only human to err. If you're so perfect, Trite, maybe you can explain this for the court. But what is it? When the murder happened, the bridge had already burnt down. But somehow the body traveled across the bridge and was found in the temple courtyard. Perhaps you have some kind of perfect explanation for this little magic trick? Ugh. Well, not exactly, no. I know there must be some other way she got across that burnt-out bridge. But unless I could somehow demonstrate it, we'll never know the truth.
It looks like the defense is not prepared to offer a suitable explanation.
You see what I mean? In other words, you're in no position to suggest that this lady's testimony isn't the truth. Ah!
Alright then, witness, let's hear your testimony once more.
About what, Your Honor?
You admitted that you moved the victim's body. Nevertheless, your prior testimony contains a rather large inconsistency. Please add an explanation for that to your testimony.
Yes, Your Honor.
Will this be her final testimony? Dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
damn it! Other than walking over the bridge, there was no way to move the body. So I must have just gotten confused, I guess. Was the snow still falling or had it stopped? Doesn't really matter that much. Or are you saying that there is a way to cross a burning bridge?
So it was just a misunderstanding, I see.
This is a photo of Dusky Bridge after it burned down from the lightning blast. It was taken on the morning after the incident.
It certainly was burned to a crisp, and one of these suspension wires even snapped. It's amazing the whole bridge didn't fall. Clearly, it would be impossible to carry a corpse across the bridge in this condition.
Unless you're Indiana Jones.
Well, she's not.
Unless I do something to discredit this testimony, it's going to be deemed as the truth, and Maya will be accused of murder. Trite. I'm only going to say it one more time. It is only human to err, and only humans can spot the errors of our ways. The more sense he makes, the less sense he makes. It's like, even when we win, he wins.
All right, Mr. Wright, please begin your final cross-examination.
Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do.
Mr. Wright, if you keep doing that, I'm going to throw you out of my goddamn court.
Hey, Goto started it, and for good reason. Yes, but if the snow had already stopped when the incident took place...
I couldn't have crossed the bridge, naturally. But I think it's just like Mr. Goto said. The body did make it across somehow.
Two-Tone Dearly says, expects Bryan Danielson to suddenly enter the courtroom. Well, after what happened... Well, especially what happened at the pay-per-view on Saturday, it would be amazed if he's alive. In storyline-wise, of course.
What happened?
Well, there was the world champ, well, the former world champion, I should say, in one of the wrestling companies I watched. Main theme is Final Countdown. So he was defending the world title, but then he lost the world title, and then that guy's entourage ended up like basically murdering him in storyline. And he got, and it was gonna be his retirement match too, so he didn't get the big ol' "thank you, Bryan, for everything you did." He was like, "Nope, we're gonna brutally murder him on his retirement night." But you seemed to be quite sure of yourself when you gave your testimony. You said you were sure the snow had already stopped.
I'm terribly sorry, I was wrong.
I should say they did the Tommy Wiseau theater version of The Room, where instead of taking the gun, he suffocated himself with an airbag. And they did the exact same thing in that wrestling storyline where they murdered the guy. Does she really think an apology is going to get her off the hook? This is no joke. You're giving sworn testimony in a court of law.
Well, Mr. Wright, let me ask you a question. Do you remember what the weather was like 1 week ago today?
I had a hurricane come through my place. That's probably why Discord...
fucking rain.
Huh? Well, naturally, it was, it's raining on my forehead right now.
You see? It's not that easy to remember, is it?
But if it had been some kind of a special day, I would have remembered. For example, it was pouring rain on the day of my elementary school graduation. No one wants to hear about your childhood traumas, Trite. Wow. I just did the entire internet in one sentence. I summed up the internet in one sentence.
Congratulations.
What?
God damn.
By the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. If you insist on obsessing over that one statement, let's see the proof. Show some evidence that the body somehow crossed the bridge while it was on fire. Well, I don't see why there couldn't be a way across.
Mr. Wright, don't you think that this sounds a bit silly? A dead body crossing over a burning bridge? Did anyone actually witness such a thing?
Huh. If there was, I don't think you'd call someone like that a witness. After all, a dream isn't the same as actually seeing something. I've come all this way, so I owe it to everyone to figure this out. But how do you transport a body across a burning bridge? Even I don't know the exact answer yet. It's okay. I'll start by examining all my evidence and see where that takes me. I've gotta be like a shark. If I don't keep moving, I'm as good as dead. Now, if I was also in a tornado, it would be pretty awesome.
Which you almost was, so shush, Joey.
What the? Oh shit! Not that!
A dead body flying over a burning bridge. I wouldn't exactly rule out the possibility.
What?
Ha! You're saying it's possible? Don't make me laugh. The only thing that's possible about your claim is that it's been pulled out of thin air. I don't know about that. In any case, we have a witness who did see it happen.
Who is it? Who is this witness?
I can't chicken out here. I've got to keep on the attack and go, go, go. Miss Elise Stonum's brilliant and highly gifted apprentice, Laurie Stonum.
No.
I'm back.
What?
Highly gifted?
Apprentice?
Remember what he said in his testimony? That night he was at the Mountain Shack, Heavenly Hall. And that's when he witnessed the event. Ah! I think you've all seen this sketch before. It's an exact drawing of what he witnessed that night.
No, please.
Are you serious? Today's not April Fool's Day, is it? Mr. Wright, are you seriously claiming the victim flew through the air? And you're using this pathetic scribble to support your argument?
Uh-oh. The judge looks like he's about to blow a gasket. Ha. Huh. Well, Trite, there's nowhere for you to hide now. Other than looking like it was drawn by a 6-year-old, does this sketch prove anything? Yes, I'm pretty sure it does, and I'm gonna prove it. Listen, I know your tricks. You're trying to turn this whole thing upside down. If you're so eager to turn this case upside down, why not start with this sketch? Upside down? Why did Godo say that?
Alright, let's hear the defense theory. God help us. What exactly is the sketch trying to show?
I don't think old Whisker Face is going to forgive any more mistakes. Alright, Phoenix. Look carefully and think it over. This sketch drawn by Release Stonum is... Something is obviously funny about this sketch.
I'm no art critic, but even I can see that.
No, that's not what I mean, Your Honor. Laurie Stonum stated it over and over that this sketch was exactly as he saw it. However, if we're to believe his testimony, then the sketch contradicts reality as we know it.
It contradicts reality?
Huh. This is getting interesting. Looks like you're back to that finger-pointing thing again. Okay, Trite, so what exactly contradicts reality as we know it? It's this wire connected to the bridge.
The wire.
Great show. Ha. Is that the thing that contradicts reality? It is indeed. Then show us the reality it supposedly conflicts with. Show us something that will point how the sketch contradicts reality.
That's a photo of Dusky Bridge, right?
Yes, now compare the sketch and the photo for a minute. In the sketch, the wires appear to be above the guard wires. But on the actual Dusky Bridge...
Oh, crap.
Jumping Jehoshaphat.
There, you got it on your first try.
I knew what the word was, I just wasn't sure I could say it.
The wires are below the guard wires.
Order, order! This sketch is somewhat different than what's depicted in the photo. However, isn't it likely that the artist saw something wrong?
Or perhaps he just is wrong.
Either way, it sounds like you're just wrong. Phoenix wrong. With someone like Larice, I admit a mistake is a definite possibility. But then that begs the question, why did he make a mistake? What was the reason? Are you saying you know the answer to that? Listen, think back, alright? Remember what Larice was doing when he witnessed this event? He was at Heavenly Hall waiting for a lover that was never going to come. In more ways than one. He waited and waited, and finally he laid down. But then, lightning shoots from the sky and sets the bridge aflame. Now ponder what sort of position Larice must have been in at the time. He was lying on his back, which is why he remembered the scene the way he did.
He was laying on his back. I can't see how it relates.
But it does, Your Honor. This is the reason why the wires in the sketch go up instead of down.
Ah!
Ugh, no way. Larice Stoneham witnessed the event while he was lying on his back, face up. In other words, the scene that he saw was actually upside down.
So then, this sketch should exactly...
I think you finally get it, Your Honor. The correct way to view Larice Stoneham's sketch is like this. This is how it should actually look. The victim's body wasn't flying above the bridge. It was actually swinging below. That's right, just like a pendulum.
Order, order!
Of all the things to say, a pendulum? The bridge was burning to a crisp. There was no way to get across it. But if the body had been found at the inner temple, it would have caused problems. This is where the criminal decided to take a gamble. They used the burning bridge to get the body across to the other side. And a pendulum was the only way to get it done. Let's think about this for a minute, shall we? Dusky Bridge is about 20 yards long, which means it's about that far from the inner temple to the opposite cliff. Yes, that sounds right. In order to cover that distance with a pendulum, you need a rope at least 10 yards long, or a quarterback that can really throw a body that far. I mean, trust me, Jean-Luc Picard tried to do that with Hey Arnold. To get a rope that long, you have to plan ahead. The lightning strike that night can only have been an accident, so it doesn't make sense that the culprit would have prepared the rope beforehand. So then, they didn't have to get the rope ready. The rope was already right in front of them. What? I'm saying that it was just a matter of using what was already there.
In that case, Mr. Wright, please give us an explanation to support your theory. What makes you think the criminal had a rope on the hand to create a pendulum? And the meaning of this is?
If you want to know where the rope came from, it's hanging right there in front of your glorious beard.
This is one of the wires from the bridge.
When the lightning struck the bridge and set it on fire, one of the suspension wires came loose from its anchor. The criminal didn't have any time to waste, so they tied the wire around Elise Donham's body. Because there was simply no other way to move the body. Ha!
What the fuck?
Mr. Godot? It seems Mr. Godot is more focused on his coffee than answering my question.
Okay, so welcome back.
It seems that the odds of a rope being ready available were very high. So I suppose it's not all impossible after all.
Possible or impossible, that's not the question we need to ask. There's only one question. Did that really happen? Trite, I wonder if you could prove what happened to us. Do you have any actual evidence that the body was swung over like a pendulum? Before I present my evidence, let me review what we know so far. According to this photo, one of the wires snapped. Looking at the map, we could see it's the one that was in front of the inner temple.
So then, that was the spot where the criminal...
Yes, precisely. Now, let us consider the body's movement by looking at the overhead map again. If the body was pushed from this point here, it would drop on the opposite bank at approximately this point.
Did you say drop?
Well, they must have failed to catch the body on the other bank.
What? What makes you think something like that happened?
Because I have evidence that suggests her body dropped some distance.
What kind of evidence?
Take a look at this autopsy report. It says here that her body fell about 10 feet after her death.
10 feet, huh?
That's most likely the height difference between the two sides. The body overswung due to forward momentum, but then came loose and fell about 10 feet. And then as a result of the landing impact, this crystal sphere was knocked loose. Yes, this blood-stained amethyst crystal. It's the one that came off of Miss Elise Donham's staff. And even more important is the place where this crystal sphere was found.
Indeed, I believe it's already marked on this overlapping map. The crystal was found. Ah!
Wow, very monotone there, Your Honor. Precisely, Your Honor. In the very spot where the pendulum would arrive if given the right amount of speed.
This explains your theory quite well, Mr. Wright. You have provided us with a way to the body could have been moved that night. An impressive dedication, Mr. Wright. Most impressive. Mr. Wright.
I thought this cold coffee might help you cool you down. Now, if you wanted creepy jazz sex music, here you go.
What is the meaning of this, Mr. Godot?
Just because it's Halloween doesn't mean you can't have creepy sex. That was a dark and bitter guess that you made, Wright. But you forgot about one thing.
Oh, and what would that be?
The aroma. Huh? A coffee's most reliable accomplice is its deep and profound aroma. The rest of the court doesn't speak coffinese. Can you elaborate a bit more? If the criminal had sent the body to the other side, like you say, then naturally there must have been an accomplice lying in wait to catch it.
An accomplice.
The criminal wasn't able to cross Dusky Bridge, so who collected the body? What do you have to say about that, Wright?
Mr. Godot is correct. This can't be a work of... Well, Mr. Wright, you know what you must do.
Yes, Your Honor. The body couldn't have made it to Hazakura Temple without an accomplice.
Very well then, if you please, Mr. Wright. Who was the person that received the body on the Hazakura Temple side?
It can only be you, Sister Iris.
Huh? But
I don't see why you're so surprised. The only way to transport the body from Dusky Bridge is by snowmobile. But with her bad back, Sister Bikini could never pick up a body like that. You're the only one that could have managed it. Right? Were you even listening to this witness's testimony? On the night of the crime, this little cutie pie was on cleanup duty in the Inner Temple Garden after the mother-daughter bloodbath. I haven't forgotten, but have you, Mr. Goto? This witness was also seen at Hazakura Temple, desecrating the corpse of the victim.
Strange indeed. It's almost as if on the night of the defendant was in two different places at the same time.
Sister Iris, let me ask you something. Why didn't you mention it when you first gave your testimony?
mention what?
The pendulum, of course. Using this sketch drawn by an eyewitness, I have established how the body was moved using the burnt-out bridge, which means it's now a fact that this occurred, something you should have already known.
No, I had no idea. I didn't know anything about a pendulum.
But the body couldn't have been passed along to the other side without your help, so you should have known about it. In fact, it'd be impossible for you to be clueless about this whole thing, unless you're not really Iris to begin with.
What? How can you say that, Mr. Wright?
What? What kind of nonsense is this? You're saying the witness isn't Iris of the Hakusan Temple?
Are you serious, Trite? You mean this woman is... There's no one besides Iris that could have received the corpse that night. Now I get it. Now I know why I've been sick to my stomach this whole trial. Why her whole demeanor changed so suddenly from yesterday. And why she's trying to pin this murder on Maya. The woman that's standing here at the witness stand, her real name is... I never thought I'd have to utter your name again, let alone see you. It's been a long time, Dahlia Hawthorne.
Hawthorne.
Sister Iris had a twin sister, and you are looking at her, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
That name rings a bell. Distant bells, but bells nonetheless.
Huh. It's just your imagination, Gramps. This file contains all the relevant data about Dahlia Hawthorne.
Oh yes, I remember now. That case, 5 years ago.
Why did you suddenly turn Irish, Your Honor?
I don't know.
My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I just want to say, it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence.
The honor is all mine. I'm back too.
Fucking simp. No, the honor is all mine.
You're an even bigger simp. You're still here.
But according to this, Dahlia Hawthorne is already dead. It says her execution was carried out last month.
So what? Death has no meaning in this courtroom.
What? Order, order, order!
Wait a moment. How can you... My sister? She's already dead! What kind of...
You of all people should already understand. After all, the blood of the master of the Korean channeling technique flows within that body.
The Korean channeling technique. Now that's where I heard that.
You heard that, Your Honor?
Where have I heard that? God damn it!
That's right, you're not Dahlia Hawthorne herself. You're the spirit of Dahlia currently inhibiting the body of a spirit medium. What an exciting story. Exciting, but quite impossible. You're asking us to buy that Dahlia Hawthorne just happened to be channeled by someone on the very night of the murder to a temple where their twin sister Iris was? Well, if you're going to put things that way, then yes. We're supposed to believe a coincidence like that just happens. Naturally, it was no coincidence. The whole thing was part of a plan from the very beginning. It's all written right here in these instructions.
What's that?
These instructions were written by your mother, Morgan Fay. And part of the plan called for Dahlia Hawthorne to be channeled. That night, there were 2 irises at Hazakura Temple. 2 of them? Even the time of the channeling was planned out. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, in other words, 10 p.m. However, Iris was seen before dinner time.
That means the Iris that was at dinner was the real Iris.
And the Iris who gave me this hood in the main hall was also the real Iris. Meaning that the Iris Sister Bikini saw at the Inner Temple was someone else dressed as her, namely one Dahlia Hawthorne. Do you even know what you're saying, Trite? This whole channeling the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne business? Yes, it's true that you found plans that talk about it. However, there's one thing that's perfectly clear. The witness currently standing in the witness stand is the real Iris. What? Calm down and remember what you know about the night of the crime. After meeting Sister Bikini, the Dahlia Hawthorne that had been channeled would have been stranded at the Inner Temple due to the lightning strike. It was later that the body was moved by pendulum. That's right. Naturally, that would mean that the Iris that received the body was the real Iris. Are you with me so far? Yes. After being notified of what happened, the police came to Hazakura Temple's main hall. There they found Iris in her room and arrested her. And ever since, she's been under police supervision at the detention center. Yes, I suppose. Can't deny any of that.
Thank goodness. It looks like he's rather convinced.
But something still seems off. Way off. I'm still not convinced that the Iris here is the same one from the other night. Huh. I suppose you're about to say something really ridiculous? Like, the real Iris and the spirit of Dahlia somehow switched places?
Switch places. To be perfectly honest, there's still quite a few things I don't understand, but I do know that unless we confirm that the witness identity, we can't continue with this trial.
Iris doesn't have the spiritual power needed to channel Dahlia, which means they must have switched places somewhere.
Well, Mr. Wright, since the time she was arrested at Hakaza Temple, have there been any chances for Iris to switch places with Dahlia Hawthorne?
Your Honor, I think there might have been one chance.
Well, explain yourself.
Yesterday, for a few minutes, Iris's whereabouts were unknown. Unknown? What do you mean? What I mean is, there was a span of time in which Iris was able to move about freely, unsupervised.
Well, who was it? Who gave a murdering suspect time to move freely like that?
I'm sorry. I know you didn't mean to. It wasn't your fault. The person who gave Iris the chance to freely move about was...
Fuck.
This is Mr. Edgeworth, isn't it?
Your Honor, there was a fairly large earthquake yesterday, was there not?
An earthquake. Oh,
I gotta do the Will Smith thing. Earthquake!
Oh my goodness! The inner temple! This kind of triggered my...
How could I have? She fled. She escaped.
Like a Safari Zone Pokemon. We went to the inner temple right away. And it's true, Iris was already there. However, they had already switched places by that point in time. When I arrived at the training hall, I was met by none other than Dahlia Hawthorne.
That's quite enough already, Mr. Wright. Now, see here. No judge in his right mind would...
Be quiet.
It's been a long time, Mr. Judge.
That voice!
Guess I'll have to ask again. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for her name and profession. That's one of my rules.
Dahlia Hawthorne. And my current profession? Permanently retired.
Like a JoJo villain. Huh. So you're not going to bother hiding your identity anymore, huh?
Why should I? After all, I'm dead. There's really nothing you could do to punish me.
What is going on here?
Dahlia Hawthorne. I never thought we'd meet again. And I never thought we'd meet like this. But this time I'll end it. For her and for myself. God, it's like going up against my ex.
Oh,
God
Dude.
damn.
to be continued Friday. Woo!
Yeah, now we have to go up against the abusive ex.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't it feel like that episode of the Boondocks, guys?
I had never seen the Boondocks.
I
Okay.
vaguely remember what you're talking about. That was
It's
the
the one-
guy who liked to insult people, right? Who ended up going to hell and then possessed the
Yep.
the guy.
Steak meter. Yeah, steak meter. Yep, when steak meter came back and started possessing, I forgot, he's the lawyer too. Shit.
Why do I feel like the guy's name was Tom that he possessed?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think it was Tom that he possessed. And then started attacking the Freeman family. All before Reverend Father Uncle Ruckish. No relation.
Oh god.
please don't start singing Uncle Ruckus's songs.
I'm not.
I'm about to say we're gonna get monetized.
They're
Oh,
not
no,
even
it's
monetized.
Not even monetized. Like,
Okay, we're gonna get-
banned.
We're gonna be banned.
I was just actually making a reference to that episode.
Well, now we gotta go up against our ex, and now we gotta prove she's the murderer. So, yeah. That's gonna be
What an
fun.
exhausting night.
Really? That doesn't, like, bring you with, like, oh god, X is here. Jesus Christ.
No, all I could hear is Jerry.
No, it wouldn't work in this scenario. It wouldn't work in this scenario. Not everything is trash TV.
I'm already thinking about.
I just want to smack down.
Yeah, especially.
Here comes that steel chair.
It's not even pro wrestling either. They wouldn't even be allowed to do that in pro wrestling.
I'm already thinking like Phoenix is looking at Dahlia's like, I don't know what you're doing here, but you're going back to hell.
Oh, he knows. He knows. He knows that she's going to try to torture him because that's all she ever wanted to do to him was just take all his body parts.
I'm taking your ass with me.
Yep, exactly like that. All right, we'll be back on Friday to destroy the X. And if we get the Halloween music back, it'll be even better because that would be perfect. I got to figure out how that happened, but it was perfect, at least for this. I think it's because I had it on low latency. I think that's what it was. Because I changed the settings to try to see if the skipped frames wouldn't go. You know what I think it really is? I think it's because Discord hasn't updated in a while and Streamlabs hasn't updated in a while. That's why it's like being so weird the past 2 weeks. Plus their hurricane probably messed it up. Because even remember when Google Hangouts was a thing? I remember there was like one hurricane where I was doing Google Hangouts.
Google Hangouts for a while for our shows.
Yeah. I did Google Hangouts one night after a hurricane, and like 2 weeks went by, and there were moments where like I would just be randomly disconnected from the thing, and then after like I guess they did some server check, and that's what happened, and they were able to fix it after the hurricane passed. So many multitude of factors, but I'm still gonna work on getting a more powerful computer. So because it's been 10 years. All right, let's end the show. Some of us want to wait until Friday to see the X. Okay. Good night, everybody, and hope you enjoyed it. We'll catch you next time.
Bye,
All right.
guys.